I'm Barbara Dewey. Welcome to Have I Got Good News for You. Today's program is called Total Health Part 3, Breakfast. But first of all, we're going to have a review for people who haven't seen what we're doing, and for those of you who have already learned what we've had and are going to have a little quiz. First of all, I told in my first program about how I was born tired, as I talk about in my book, Have I Got Good News for You. I told how I was always sick and lazy and crabby with a schizophrenic personality, and how I had a 30-year search for health and wellness and thinness because I always had a weight problem. I took diet pills for 20 years and had so many respiratory infections. I'd had penicillin shots a lot. I ended up with hypoglycemia and candida, and had to sit down to wash dishes even. I was so tired. And then through the years, I got into health food, and then several years ago, I prayed to God, and He sent me a teacher, a nutritionist whose name was Don Kraus from Hendersonville, Tennessee, and he taught me so many things that I want to share with you, because I was out there crying for so many years for somebody to teach me what I'm going to teach you, and have been teaching you. Well, I'm going to review a little bit more. The second time I met with you, we had a program called War on Destructive Lifestyle Practices. Now, when I was younger and I first started studying health, I found out about sugar and how bad it was for you, that it is an addictive substance. And then Sugar Blues I read, which was another really eye-opening book. And as soon as I went off sugar products, which I had eaten so much of all of my life, junk food, sugar products, I began to feel better and lose my fatigue, because what was happening to me was that sugar, being a drug like so many other addictive substances, burdened the body. Now, the body is a wonderful machine. It will heal itself if it's given the right materials. But when we burden it with addictive substances such as, like I say, sugar, along with all the different addictive substances, caffeine, and of course alcohol, the other kind of drugs, as I said, I took diet pills too, and the opiate narcotics, like there's opium or there's codeine in your cough syrup, and so many things that we talked about the last time when we talked about War on Destructive Lifestyle Practices. Well, I was so simplistic that I mainly talked about sugar to everyone. Then when I found out about hypoglycemia, being your blood sugar swinging up and down, I talked about that all the time. I taught diet classes. I've had around 500 in my diet classes. And I talked about hypoglycemia because I felt better when I had when I followed the hypoglycemic way of eating. And then I talked about the abuse of antibiotics, taking too many antibiotics, also birth control pills and so many other things causing all of these symptoms. And we mentioned that before. Now, if you didn't hear that, or if you didn't get a test like this, if you will send me a self-addressed stamped envelope, I will send you the written test for whether or not you have this Candida albicans or the yeast from taking a lot of antibiotics. The yeast infection, there's so many symptoms, fatigue, and the hypoglycemic questionnaire. I'll send them both, just request the hypoglycemic questionnaire or the yeast test, and I will send it to you. Now, if you send 2 stamps, I will send you my life story in a mini version that I've written, so that you will have an idea of what I went through this search for help. Well, I want to go over a little bit, after I found out that there was more to it than just sugar, more to it than just Candida albicans, more to it than the hypoglycemia. There was a lot of things breaking down our health. Now, if people that you know, or if you yourself are sick or have symptoms of various kinds in your body, there are more than one reasons for it. Now, these are the things. This is my camel, Jake, and forgive me for repeating, but I just love to be a teacher, and I want to make sure that you know all of these things and get this concept. See, this is Jake, and this is his health, and he can't even walk because his health is so broken down, as I was, because I spent so many years just tired, living in a twilight zone between good and bad health, really mostly feeling bad. My mother would say go outside and play, and I didn't want to. I just wanted to sit around, lay down and read. I didn't even want to sit up and read. I was tired so much of the time. Once in a while I would feel good, but it was because I hadn't been eating my sugar and junk food. So anyway, what has broken down the health was not just addictive substances or sugar, with not just junk food, but a lot of things. And I'm going to quickly go through some of the things that it says. The straw that broke the camel's back, remember, processed, preserved, and overcooked foods that are more of a burden on the body than they give it nutrition. Lack of relaxing exercise with deep breathing. We need to exercise every day to get our blood circulating, to get our lymph circulating. Remember that I've told you that you should always breathe through your nose when you're exercising. If you have to breathe through your mouth, then you're exercising too hard. Now there's lack of enough pure drinking water, and it should be distilled. Now, if you don't drink your water, it's like never flushing your toilet. Think of your body as that way. Now, when I first went to my nutritionist, I said, but I'm never thirsty, and I don't drink water, and I don't sweat. And he said, well, then there must be something wrong because your body needs to be flushed out. And then he told me about the concept of the toilet, what it would look like if you didn't flush it for, say, a week or 2 weeks or years in my case. A lot of us just drink Diet Pop and don't ever bother with the water. As I said, it should be distilled. You should be drinking half of your weight in ounces of distilled water every day. These fruits that you see here today have been washed in either Basic Age or a preparation from the health food store. If you go to the health food store and ask what is good to take off the fertilizers and the pesticides off of your produce, they will tell you and show you what you can do. Okay? Then what is another thing breaking down our health? Overeating and eating in the evening. I was always a compulsive overeater. I never could get full. And I found out later that one of my problems was that I had mercury amalgam fillings in my mouth for 40-some years, and that I had an electrical problem. The currents in my mouth, the brain signals couldn't get through the organs, and I showed books that document the things that I'm talking about today. So I had my fillings changed, and also mercury fillings cause organs to be poisoned through mercury as we eat something hot or chew. We activate the mercury and it goes into our organs and causes a lot of problems. And they say 25% of the American people suffer from some kind of a health problem because of silver metal fillings. All right, eating in the evening too. I used to eat at bedtime. When you eat at bedtime and you go to bed, your food does not digest because once you lay down, the digestion stops. And your body's trying to get rid of it. So you may be in a coma all night, but your body won't rest because it has that food in there that it has to get rid of. If you wake up in the night, maybe sometimes my chiropractor says your liver kicks in trying to get rid of some of the food. So don't eat anything after 6 o'clock. If you eat after 6 o'clock, it should be fruit because fruit doesn't take any digestion. It just passes through your body as a cleansing food. Lack of fresh air and sunshine. I've told that we get 80% of our energy from the sunshine and fresh air. I've told you that you should take great big deep breaths and fill your lungs up. And you need to go outside and have a walk and have fresh air. And we only get 5% of our energy from food, and yet that's where we look for our energy all of the time. So something's wrong. And this is the type of thing that we're going to be studying in this series. For bowel elimination, we need to go to a health food store and ask them what they have. What natural products do they have to get the bowels moving and cleaned out? Chemicals at home and at work. We have to remember that, and we're all becoming aware of pollution, the pollution in the air. It's great that we're having the campaigns to fight pollution and clean up the waters. It's wonderful. But we have to do what we can do at home, too. We should use natural products because, for example, cleansers will go right into your skin. We should read the labels and take care of ourselves that way.